Welcome to Comfortable Conversations. I'm your host, Jas Kirk, where we dive into the greatest gift life can offer us, discomfort. These honest yet comfortable conversations we will have are essential as your life is your canvas. In each episode, I will share practical wisdom and personal stories that guide you through life's big questions, encouraging growth, self-discovery, and deeper connections in your everyday life. Fabienne.
Yeah. I was like, they're picking up my washer dryer today. And I'm like, I need you to come after 12. Thanks.
You bought a washer dryer?
No, I was renting one. Even though the amount of money I spent on renting, I could have just bought one. But then I would have to be selling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just didn't want, I was over it. I don't want anything else to be, I don't want to be responsible for anything else.
Wait, Fab. Those units don't come with washer and dryer?
They have connection hookups. Ghetto. I know, real ghetto. And then go raise the rent $250. That's a washer dryer.
Just go ahead, give me that. Okay. What else outside the state of the nation? I don't want to talk about that.
No,
man.
That's fine.
What else is on your spirit?
I don't know. Let's take some breaths.
Damn, that's how much on your spirit. What's on your
spirit?
spirit?
My head is a little cloudy right now, so like let's take some breaths. Do you hear that?
Yeah, but it can't be her.
Okay. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, is that in my head?
It's like I'm trying to take a breath.
And people are talking in my brain.
It's like I'm not
silencing the noise. It's not working.
Okay, Fab, I'm not gonna play with you today.
What do you do when all of your wellness tools don't work?
Seriously, that's where we're starting.
What do you do when you're spiraling? So you're like, the meditation is not meditating. What do we do?
You know what? That's where we're starting today.
Yeah.
I swear, I feel like you gotta pray. Like, I've had those seasons where I'm like, not working. Meditation's not working. Journaling's not working. Going for a run's not working. Mm-hmm. For me, it's just those things aren't what I'm supposed to need in the moment. Like, I've had to learn, like, that's not something else is trying to emerge, and I'm trying to, like, force that thing to help me in the moment versus just be. Yeah. So it's like, maybe I do, like, how I meditate, typically I'm like, maybe that's not it. Maybe just be.
Yeah.
Just be in this moment. Being in it, hating it, being in it, irritated, being in it, pissed off, whatever it is, be in it. And usually it lifts after that. I'm like, okay, we hate it, but we're here.
Yeah.
So that's how we started. Like, okay, what
segue.
about you?
Sometimes I just need to sleep.
Yeah, sleep it off.
Or like, cry, throw up. Put my back on the wall and slide down it. Help. Just feel absolutely helpless. Surrender to the feelings. And then they pass. It's called a release. No, but seriously, sometimes you're right. Like, sometimes I've journaled my whole life. I've been journaling since I was 5. Seriously, I promise you. I still have those journals. Okay. I have my journals from when I was like 5, and it's like wild to see like me spelling things out, but like I'm literally journaling because we used to do like a lot of like family vacations.
Yeah.
And I guess my mom or somebody got me like these travel journals to like document my trip. And like that turned into me just like always writing about. I was also like even though I was raised in a house that had like a lot of people in it, I was like to myself a lot. Yeah. So I would always be like writing in my diary. My brother was trying to like read it. I I remember one time my mom found my journal and I was like, I hate my mom.
You're like, dang.
Invasion of privacy from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I know, but
like, these are my thoughts.
Yeah. And then in the last like 2 years, I haven't been journaling because it's just not the season for it for me. Like,
I feel you on that. It's the last 2 years I found myself, I have short seasons where I'm like, yes, you want to journal, but then those fade and I'm like, I think I want to speak more. Like I found myself like talking out loud because I'm like, this is affirming it more than like me writing it, because writing it, I want to replay the past for some reason. And I'm like, you don't want to do that. That's not what we're doing. Like you're no longer something, there is a disconnect.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. Like you said, there's different seasons for things. Sometimes I remember like 4 years ago and I was like in the beginning of like my healing from the breakup thing, I was like fully into like the wake up, meditate before I touch anything, before I talk to anybody, like literally body scan, was doing Reiki on myself. Like, and I was doing that for months and months, probably like that first full year.
Yeah.
And then it's like you graduate from it, but it's still a tool in my wellness toolbox, which I like to say everybody needs one of those.
I had a friend bring this up recently. Like he shared what used to work, like how things used to hit aren't. And he was like, even the advice he used to give. And I'm like, because you've grown. So now you're like in this transitional period of you're not yet what you were anymore, or using that level of awareness that it still applies.
Yeah.
But you're outgrowing it to now need something different, greater. And that's like your higher self walking towards that. Like not yet. You're not yet there, but you're also not yet where you want to be yet.
Yeah.
So all the laughs, y'all. Got me in my makeup over here running.
No, but crying for real. Like sometimes I'm a Cancer. Like,
I cry a lot. I'm an Aquarius. We're like these, apparently y'all swear we the coldest of all signs, but we cry.
I would not say that.
I'm emotional.
I think, not to be like, turn this into astrology chat, but I would like to say people mislabel Aquarius.
Yeah. So
I will say the men and women are different. Cold is not, you guys actually care more than most people.
Yeah.
Y'all want to save everybody. And then like when the saving doesn't happen or people don't like appreciate you, then you go full left.
Cut off game is immaculate.
Oh my God.
Cut off game is like, cut it at the neck or the head and it's off.
This person I used to know, it was my ex, but we're not going to make this about him. But he used to literally be like, like everyone hates me. Like everyone is, I'm like, how does everybody, how is it everybody else?
Yeah. Sometimes it's you, boo.
It's not, the world is not against you. It's like, it's enough.
You. Today's my brother's birthday, so he's Aquarius. Two of my brothers are Aquarius. So my mom had to deal with 3 of us.
And what sign is your mom?
Aries.
Oh. I know y'all were tussling up in there.
Me and my mom, like, yeah, no, we're just gonna leave it at that. Because if you know, you know.
Yeah.
You get it.
I'm an Aries rising,
so you get it. But what I really want to talk about today. So I was on my run. I was super excited for our podcast session today because I had this metaphor. One day I was running a long run and I had this thought of I was about to continue. I was at 6 or 7 miles, or no, I was at like 5 or 6, mile 5. And I was like, you want to go a little bit more. But my initial thought was like, oh, you're going this way because it has all these flat roads. But something in me was like, no, we going uphill and we going to enjoy it. And I was like, me? Am I? Okay.
Conversation.
And so I found, with myself as I'm running and enjoying this run. And I'm going up this hill, smiling. And I had this thought of like, in life, as we go up and we're succeeding, we love it. But when we're running, we hate it. Like uphill as you're running is difficult, but you have to keep the same level of enthusiasm. And then I thought, as I'm going uphill, I was like, in life, this metaphor is crazy because this is what you're supposed to enjoy. You're elevating all of the things. But in running, you actually enjoy the downhill more because it frees, everything comes off.
Yeah.
But in life, that we're going towards the valley, so we hate it. And so I'm on this run and I'm like, isn't it crazy how run in life, there's this, the opposites are true in this moment. And I was like, but what if I make them true? Like, what if going up this hill is so much fun? And what if when I go into a valley next time, it's so much fun? So in run, I'm like, okay, I embrace these hills now. And every day I incorporate hills when I'm going to run. And in life, as I'm like seeing obstacles in the valley, I'm like, but we peeling everything off. That's the point of the valley. Like, and I shifted this mindset of like, the valley, we're not like God, the universe, nothing. Nobody wanted us to dislike the valleys. But for some reason, we saw the darkness and we were like, we hate it. Something is taken away and there's grief and we're like, I hate it. And so as I was running today and it was a light run, I was just like beaming with joy because I also was like, I can't wait to share this with people because it's like, how many people are translating that? Like when you're going uphill in life, you're like, yes, nice this, nice that, the things, the people, everything. And if life takes anything away, you'd be like, I hate this. No, but why we can't enjoy it?
Perspective.
Yeah. So mindset shift.
You know what made me think? It made me think of two things. One, you ever like when you're going uphill or like something like that, like a heavy lift or something, you're like, I'm just gonna do this faster, so I finish faster.
There's people who do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I need to go at my pace.
It doesn't change anything, though.
Yeah, it doesn't. Me going faster just makes me more exhausted quicker. And then my self-doubt, all of that, like warp speeds quicker versus like that momentum of the pace that I can keep and recognizing like, if you were to keep this pace, you'd be good.
Yeah.
You could coat like this feels good is so much better than me being like, if I speed past this is going to be so, I'm going to miss it quick. You do. And then in life, when you think about that, like, why you want to speed past this part anyway? It's not going to do anything, but everything's going to come warp speed, even the negative. Dang, I like you just said that too. I didn't even think about that part.
Oh, Fab. I'd just be guiding you into it. The second thing is
Delulu.
That perspective is cute, but at first it's also delusional. Like, yeah, I do enjoy this. No, I don't, but I'm going to convince myself until I do.
Yes and no. Like, I get the delulu, but it's like, you know what? Let me say this. You can't, some things like you genuinely hate and you be like, hate it, dislike it, whatever. I actually genuinely enjoy running. Okay. There's like times that I'm like, I don't want to get out the bed. The other day, it's 18 degrees. No, I would not prefer to be running in the cold. But when I'm out there, like, I actually enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Like, to be a runner, I enjoy it. There are people who, they don't enjoy running. So that blissful moment.
Me,
the person. Yeah.
You're sitting across from me.
You're like, I'm not going up that hill with joy.
You know, the joy for me, I think I'm a little bit of a masochist. The joy for me comes like after. It's the like, it becomes like an aha moment of like a few things like, oh, I knew I could do this, even though it was maybe a little painful or not nice.
Yeah.
But like that proving yourself type of like high, I enjoy that. And that's why when I did run and I did like the Brooklyn half like twice, it was like, I didn't think I could ever do that or even want to do it. And then it was like, I didn't even think I could commit to training. And then it was like, oh, I didn't even think I would actually finish this like and run the entire time, you know, versus like walking. So it's kind of like the conclusion that gives me that happiness versus the actual running. And I think that's why I also don't run now, because it's like, it wasn't the running, it was the completion of the running.
And I fell in love with the process of running.
I get it. That runner's high, especially when you run like races, it's different. I understand.
Yeah. I fell in love with that aspect, the process of it, because when I got to the end, I was like, especially the marathon, the Chicago Marathon, I was like, we got to walk till mile 27 and we just did 26.2 miles.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah. And they make you like, there's so many runners that you meet your family and everything at mile 27. And that was the most discouraging sign I had ever seen. I was like,
and wait, like after you finish, then you have another mile to walk?
You have to meet all your family and friends and everything.
Oh, so you have...
The amount of miles you do when you run a marathon that day is a lot.
Is it?
You do more than 26.2 miles.
Oh, so it's a trick. That's what I heard.
And then that day, my dad felt inspired and he wanted to walk. I said, baby, what we're not going to do is you walk. I'm getting in an Uber or something.
Yeah, like my legs are detached from my body.
He said, I feel inspired. Feel inspired another day. Not today. I was like, bro.
Meanwhile, everybody always is so inspired by the marathon because it's just like, I mean, you ever watch the marathon as a spectator? You really like, I mean, again, I cry for everything. So I be on the sidelines like getting choked up because it'd be dudes out there that are 88.
I cheered in December for the Dallas Marathon. I cheered because I couldn't run at the time, and I was just like, I was out there screaming from the top of my lungs, having the best time ever, that people were like, oh my God, you're bringing all the energy. I'm like, but they're doing the hard work. Like, it's easy to cheer when you didn't wake up at 4 o'clock. I was like, I didn't wake up and decide I'm going to do 26.
I haven't been training for 3 months.
Yeah, it's easy to be like,
the least you could do is bring the energy.
Like, just scream for them. Like, they see you for a millisecond.
Why are you shaming these cheerleaders?
I swear, I was like, this is the easy part when you really think about it. Like, they put in the grit, the discipline, the time. Like, they actually chose to do something hard today.
Yeah.
So I love cheering people on, but I think I've learned, and that's crazy because this metaphor concept we were talking about, I'm just now realizing I probably enjoy the journey more because of running. Like, there's such a high that I get in that. Then why aren't I enjoying certain journeys when that's the part I love the most? Like, I get to the goal and I'm like, that's great. Yeah, Fab, don't give me that.
Now we're cooking with grease.
There we go. Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't know that. Like, this is that aha moment I just had. Like, I really enjoy the journey. So next time I'm complaining about something in life, be like, but this is the part you like. So my word for this year is joy.
Okay, nice.
Have you ever looked back at versions of yourself? So I feel like last year I gained so much weight compared to like another version of myself. And I looked back at the version that I was like, hot jazz that loved to be in nothingness and crop tops and showing all the skin. But you know what's funny? That when I was looking back at these pictures of myself, I was laughing so much more. I was so much more playful.
This is hot jazz?
Hot jazz.
I'm just tracking. I'm just trying to track.
Like, just so you know, and this version of you is what
we're calling this hot jazz, right?
I'm still hot jazz. Okay,
I'm just making sure I'm paying attention. I'm like, okay, wait. Hot jazz is laughing.
Okay. Going back to this version of hot jazz, who currently still hot jazz. Don't play with me.
For sure.
So I'm looking at these photos, but I'm seeing how much more playful I was, how just like lighthearted I felt, how you could see me just like every photo, every video, cracking jokes, laughing. And I was like, what you miss is joy. It's not like thinner jazz. It's joyful jazz.
Yeah.
It's like what, and then I had to sit with like, what happened? What was happening during that time? And I was like, oh, you were going through some traumatic experiences and you were around the wrong people.
Yeah.
And you started toning yourself down. Mm-hmm. And then you like saw the light dim and saw the light dim. And you get to this point where you see me. Yeah, I was posting. But that joy was like, it was like the key had been taken out or the light bulb had been turned off. And it was just like, yeah, I had light, but it was like a natural light. Like this room has natural light. But if you turn off this like light that's facing us, it's not going to look the same.
Yeah.
And so at the end of 2024, I recognized that. And I was like, you're just going to put the joy back in life. That's it. You're going to, I felt my spark ignite again. And I was like, 2025, my word is joy.
That's a beautiful, and I think we talk about this, like the happiness versus joy thing.
Yeah.
And joy is the way, because happiness is not, people think happiness is like this.
And it's not.
And it's not.
Like you could wake up and be happy. Your jacket has a smiley face, happy. That's how much like happiness is like, choose it or don't. Like it's not gonna.
No, yeah. Finding the joy in everything. That mindset really, that shit changed everything for me. When I switched from understanding that the goal wasn't happiness, it was joy. Because life is not allegedly supposed to
allegedly life
is not supposed to be happy, joy. You know what I mean? You can find the joy in anything, in any day, but that happiness, like bliss, like feeling is not something that you obtain and then it never goes away. Like, life is like this.
It's going to be challenges. Like you're guaranteed challenges, obstacles, all of that. You're not guaranteed. You can choose how you look at a circumstance. Yeah. And that's something I recently prayed is like, there was a circumstance that I was like, nothing's working. Meditating's not working because I still hate it. Journaling's not working. Affirmation's not working.
Yeah.
Going into that, shifting the perspective, not working because it was just me like, I'm going to be positive. Positive Patty was gone out the door and was like, goodbye.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah. And I was just like, God, I've tried everything. Yeah. And so I just was like, change me. Mm-hmm. What if you know what? What if the circumstance doesn't change? What if I change? Mm-hmm. Change me.
Control what you can control.
And when I tell you, the moment I prayed that prayer, and I didn't just apply that to that circumstance, I said everything. I was like, if I want something different for my life, I'm deciding to change it now.
Yeah.
Because I had in December did my like uncomfortable conversation questions to myself. It was like 15 questions. Mm-hmm. And one of them that stuck out was like, what things or experiences are happening that you dislike? Like, and you write them down, and I wrote them down. And it was like, now that you're aware of those, do you want to keep carrying them?
Yeah.
And I was like, hell no. I literally wrote, hell no. And then it hit me like, you're choosing to carry, like if you're aware of these things that you're doing that are not helping you or benefiting you, and then the next question you have to answer is, do you want to keep carrying them then?
Yeah.
And now I'm actively saying yes or no, because it's not really me saying yes or no. It's literally seeing them those things and saying, do I want to keep carrying this negative perspective?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Then put it down.
Yeah.
And let's go to the next way. And so now even in my conversations, like, I'm just like, I'm not there no more.
Yeah.
I'm not there anymore. So I kind of, even with my friends, like somebody was talking about a relationship situation and I like shared to them, like, I don't even want to sound mean, but at this point, this person has shown you for 8 years who they are. Ooh. Like, it's not going to change.
8 years is a long time. I have a question. I have a hot take question.
Hot take.
Do you believe that suffering is a choice?
Starting to realize. Yeah, I'm starting to realize it really is. Like, we don't know any better.
Yeah. And this is outside of like natural disasters and stuff like that. We're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about your personal suffering. Like, do not bring up the LA
I just
fires.
had to disclaim.
Like,
because, you know, people are obtuse.
Yeah, ridiculous. But no, I do think we essentially choose our own suffering. And if you don't heal from it, it just shows up in another form until you decide to resolve it. But you got to look at it in the eye and be like, why am I choosing this? Why am I choosing this crap? Like, do I want that? Do I think I deserve this? No. Then why am I choosing it?
I can't remember the last time I used the word crap.
I'm trying not to curse.
Oh, okay. I was like, that was...
I'm trying not to curse on camera. Let me not even lie to y'all, because Fab talks to me on the phone.
I think I said 3 times already, including that one. No, but you're right. It's not to like diminish the hardness or easiness of the pivot, but
you're choosing
accountability.
It. Like, so there was this guy I was talking to, and I remember saying to him, if you're in this circumstance and you're suffering, but you're pretending like everything is okay, you're doing yourself a disservice, because the help can't come. Nothing can come. You're choosing to stay in your spoiled milk at this point. And it's like, what can you do? Like, you hate it. Fine. That's no. Dislike it. Now what do we do?
Yeah.
And it's either, and that's why I say sometimes you're suffering. Most of the time you're suffering is your choosing. Like,
yeah. And those are coping mechanisms, like disassociation, shutting down, powering through, like not planning, not being proactive, being avoidant to yourself, being avoidant of your own feelings or how you really feel, or even dismissive.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, or this is my most hated one. Oh, well, other people have it bad.
That's the one that I'd be like, okay, but we're not talking about other people in this moment. We're talking about you.
Yeah.
And I think this was a conversation my therapist had with me about, like, as a culture, sometimes the Black culture, we dismiss what we're dealing with because of all these other things. And it's like, I'm going to feel that. Like, this is my truth.
Y'all be all right.
This is my reality. And so that was an interesting conversation, because my therapist is a white woman. And she shared with me, I have an older white woman, and I love her. She's amazing.
I'll put a pin in that one.
I'm spinning the block.
We're going to spin the block on that one.
No, but you know what's crazy? One day, I interviewed a series of therapists to get to my therapist. And it was a very clear decision that she was going to be the person on this part of my journey helping me. And I'll say that because I do believe you have certain people during certain seasons. And so during this season, Alyssa has been phenomenal. That's my girl. We cry. But she actually... What?
Both of y'all?
No, I cry.
Oh, okay. I was like, she would cry too.
No,
I actually made my therapist cry one time.
Well, she was emotional in this message.
Okay.
There was, like, I asked her a lot of different questions because I want to see perspective on all fronts. And she ended up sharing in one of our sessions, like, I appreciate that you're open to share hard things and traumatic things, because she was like, I have Black friends. And I had a friend say to me before, like, we don't tell white people our business.
Okay.
And she was like, the fact that you're entrusting me, like, that, like, I appreciate that. And I was like, dang, they said that. We really be thinking that though. Like,
I wish more people thought that way.
And I mean,
so I want to know what made you feel safe. That's why my knee-jerk reaction was, I want to know, like, from the interview or like maybe the first session or so, like, how did you, not saying that it's impossible, but for you specifically, like, I'm curious to know, like, what was this feels good.
So when I started interviewing therapists, I had a nice list. I did. I had a nice list and 20. I scheduled it and I scheduled people out and I reached out to everyone and said, hey, you know, I'm in the search of a new therapist. I don't want to actually just pick you. I want to figure out if we are going to be a good fit because my last experience was having someone that I was like, you're not listening.
Yeah.
You don't hear me.
Highly recommend.
Communication is extremely important to me. Mm-hmm. And I sent the email out. I literally had the email drafted, sent everyone the same message, sent it all at the same time. Different, not CCing them on one email. It was all separate. She was responsive. And very, quickly responded, quickly booked it. And that's stuff that I value. Communication is something I value in a way that, like, being responsive, but being able to quickly communicate is just important. And so I didn't even know that was important to me till I saw it and I was impressed.
Yeah.
And then all of the other ones, granted, they answered within 24 hours, but it was how quickly she did, how quickly she wanted to set up a call. And I felt heard. Okay. Granted, she was the first person I got on a call with. Now, all these other calls scheduled. But I remember feeling like she was actually listening.
Yeah, that's important.
And then she had an arsenal of tools. It wasn't you are going to come and I'm going to apply what I think you need in that moment based on the story you're telling me. It's we're going to see together. We're going to journey together.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I really needed. Like, I don't know what I need until I'm in the pit of it and help me in that moment because I think I may need this, but you may feel that I don't need that.
Yeah.
And even when we are in sessions, she lets me talk. And for a long time, I felt like I was crazy about a lot of things. And so it's like you're telling the version or you're being as vulnerable as you can be. And she'll like go deep. And then like the thing that I think is not anything, she'll be like, but what about this? And it's like, I appreciated that. So there's so many like, our first few sessions, it was like a cry fest. And I didn't even know my soul needed those cries in such a healing way. And then it would get to a point that I didn't. Like, I remember the first one that I was like, man, I didn't cry at all today.
Yeah, you feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah, I was like,
and
I was stronger. Ready. Yeah, but it also was like, I didn't know certain versions of me just needed a hug for me to go back and recognize that was a really traumatic time. And you downplayed it because everybody goes through it. Or even like safe friendships. That was one that I really had to give myself that like forgiveness hug of like, I recognized during that season you were hurting and not anyone who you were really around was recognizing. One, this environment is just not socially safe for anyone.
Yeah.
But everybody's pretending like it is. And you didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And you removed yourself. And that was the best decision you could have made for yourself. And it's being able to go back and be like, good thing you did that for yourself. So, me and Alyssa, which granted, I'll say this. I do hear a lot of people who are very, like, people of color don't necessarily, and like I said, Alyssa said, like, I was told people of color don't talk to white people about their problems. Like, we don't tell y'all our problems. And we've had, there was one session that I remember yelling. Because I went to a family event And sometimes I get frustrated with my family because like they swear my black card is taken and I'm just not the same as everybody else. And I feel that like I want to go for a run or I want to go to Pilates or this or that. And I remember I was in therapy a week later because I went on this family trip. Was like, oh, I can't wait to get to therapy. And my brother was like, he had canceled his therapy session and we were talking about it and something happened. Oh, I can't wait to talk to Alyssa about this. And I'm ranting to Alyssa. And I was like, Alyssa, because everyone thinks I'm not a white woman. And I look up and I'm like, my bad, Alyssa. I know you white, but. And she's like, no problem right now. This is a safe space. But I'm like, this is the point. Like, I'm a black woman and I get really offended, even in my culture, when people are making it seem like because I prefer to do something else, that makes you whitewash or this or that. And it's like, it's my preference. I'm black. Yeah. Like, I don't pretend to be anything else. But this was that's why I said me and her are like this, because she has made this space so safe that I'm like,
no, that's beautiful.
She's dope. So I would refer my therapist to anybody. So yeah, that was a rant, but you feel me, girl.
I be wanting to drop the N-word, so that ain't gonna work out for me. Sometimes I be like, these N's, like I need to be able to go off.
No, I probably that rage no longer. I rage in my sleep. Like, that's where, like, I know there's something unsettled in life when I go to sleep and I'm, like, fighting or arguing.
Oh, in your dreams and stuff?
In my dreams.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And then I wake up and I was like, damn, something's bothering you. And what is it?
Yeah.
So, but.
Have you ever, like, done a prayer before going to sleep? And you just know you're going to get an answer. And then you wake up and nothing happens. Yeah. That happened to me last night. I was laughing at myself. Because yesterday my prayer was like, because right now I'm like, everything's up in the air. Yeah. And I don't like gray area typically. I've gotten a lot better with that because I'm a recovering control freak, as I like to say.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah. Some people aren't. Some people are
so free.
Go with the flow. And they're just flowing. No plans.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
Just vibes.
I'm definitely vibes, but strategically place the vibe there. Like,
Some people are just like, I don't know.
Aloof.
They don't even, they have no clue. And they look much happier also, but it's fine. Anywho, but yeah, my prayer yesterday was, like, God, please just show me like what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah.
Went to sleep. I was like, yeah, I'm about to get a message in the dreams. I don't think I dreamed last night at all.
You did dream. You did
But
remember.
I did wake up like a little bit more calm.
Yeah.
Which is nice and sure.
You thought you were going to have a whole vision.
Yeah, like he was about to be in there like
interpreting
he was gonna
stuff.
Come to me like Mufasa in there. Nothing. I think I just slept peacefully, which is cool.
Maybe that's what you needed though. Like maybe this moment is not about needing to know anything and it's just about being.
I feel like that's been my whole life. Just
being.
Perhaps.
Dang. Somebody else feels like that. No, I get you. Like, do you feel like sometimes we want this, like, what movie was that when it's like you want a clear sign from God and it's like, hello, I'm God. Which movie is this? Bruce Almighty.
I knew. Yes. I was like, is this Bruce Almighty?
I was like, that movie. Those are the moments that I actually want.
I want
like
Morgan Freeman to come over here.
Just be clear.
Hello.
Talk to me. Let me know it's you. I'll know it's you.
Well, the other day I was like, I've been feeling like this for a few weeks. And the other day, it was actually the day of the inauguration. We won't go into that. But the day of the inauguration, I was just like, not spiraling, but just feeling weird. And then I stumbled upon a message, like I saw a message come up on one of our TV screens, and it's so weird in the apartment building. It's weird. I haven't seen that message ever again, but it was just like, just keep moving forward. And I was like, period.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I was like, is that not enough? Like, she was like, no.
No, give me more. I'm like, I'm not trying to be impatient. but just like, or ungrateful, but come on.
Give me.
Please, sir.
Can I have more bread?
Have some more. Can you give me something a little more definitive? Like, God.
Oh, my.
I won't tell them.
I'll keep it to myself.
I was just like, my goodness.
Oh,
you be making me fight for it.
No, but I feel you. I feel like so many people, sometimes you're there in that moment. Like, I always pray, like, when I need a clear answer, I'm like, hey, God, don't whisper it. Not this time. I need to, like, hear you clearly. And sometimes.
Yeah, Morse code me.
Something. Like, please help. But, I don't know. The space I'm in right now, I'm just like, the divine timing is just, it's here. Like, what is for you, just grab it. Don't wait to see the sign to grab it. Just grab it. It's ready and it's here. And I was also listening to a podcast as I was getting ready, and it was about, there's this, I can't think of the book name because I was literally getting ready. So multitasking. Yeah. But it was like the motorcycle is life, like the translation of a motorcycle being life. Oh. And how motorcycles can't reverse. They can only move forward. And also you can't really steer. Like with a car, you can steer it, but motorcycles, you move with your body. So it's so much more intentional. And that's why it's this metaphor for life, because you can guide life in the way you want to go if you are intentional. Yeah. So it's always, there's no going back. Yeah. It's only moving forward. And if you put, the kickstand is only there for support. So you're not driving with the kickstand on in support mode all the time. Yeah. But you also don't need to be in support mode all the time. Yeah. Like, just move forward. So that's, I feel like that was relevant. Yeah. But I know we all be needing a sign.
Yeah, you know.
You're tired, but
I'm exhausted. I've been exhausted for like 2 years.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And that's that release of like the exhaustion of it all. Like, what are you letting go of? What version of yourself do you have to let go of for this version of you to just be?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's weird because I do feel like with certain things, I have like conviction in them. Like, I know when something is like no longer for me or working for me. I will say that I'm working on, because the cutoff game is very strong, and that's not just like some relationship shit, like just in general. Yeah. I'm learning when like something is worth nurturing a little bit more and working on versus releasing completely. Yeah. I think that's been interesting to navigate. And I'm a little bit more open to, like I said, I'm committing to this, so I'm gonna still do it type of thing. Even if the journey doesn't look like I thought it would, or my expectations are were a little bit different. And maybe that's it. Like, maybe that's literally just it. Maybe that's exactly full stop. Yeah. Which feels like so small, kind of. Yeah. But I feel like these last 4 years have been like literally one foot in front of the other with these like seemingly tiny lessons, but for an eventual bigger picture. It's definitely making me a better person. Yeah. My problem is that my problem is that I feel like I'm working a lot on myself and everybody around me ain't. And I don't mean like a media circle. I mean in this world. Like, I feel like a lot of like terrible humans are being rewarded, and it's not fair.
Yeah. Fab said help. I feel you on that. Like, but I think it's because you're elevating to another level of like self-awareness. Yeah. That you got it. Like, you can't not hold yourself accountable to it. And now that you know better, you do better. And then it's easier to even spot that out in others. Yeah. But it
isolates you completely.
Because you're like, oh, wow.
I'll tell you the story. On MLK Day, I went to the parade, which was really cute. I've never I've never been a parade person. Like
really?
Even being from New York, like the Thanksgiving parade was not that's not a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry. But it just wasn't. I was just never a parade people. But my parents are immigrants though too. So
I've accidentally walked in the St. Patty's Day parade when I was in college, and I was super drunk.
That is a different. That's not parade people. That's drinking people.
Yeah, but we was in a parade.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
okay,
it's different.
Like, that's how much of a parade person I am.
Too have gone, like, St. Patty's Day, like, anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. But, so once a parade, it was actually really nice, like, very community centered. Like, it was nice to just be around, like, our people.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we celebrated it on Saturday. It kind of gave it its own day type of thing. And as we're walking back to my friend's mentor's house, this little tiny dog was just out loose. And like, this is like in a residential area. So it's just a bunch of houses. This little tiny dog is out loose and it almost ran into the street. And it was like, whose dog is this? Whose dog is this? Nobody knows. So I picked up the dog. It's so crazy. I've become such a dog person just by having a dog, but picked up the dog and I went to like the nearest house to where it looked like. And I knocked on the door and I was just like, is this your dog? And they were like, no, that's the neighbor's next door's dog, though. And I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, I saw her running around. That her name is Daisy, like, talking about the dog. And I was like, okay. In my head, I'm like, why didn't you come out and get the dog if you know whose dog? Whatever. So I was like, cool. Go to the neighbor's house, knock on the door, no answer, but their gate is wide open. And so I go. So I'm like, maybe they're in the back. Mind you, this is Texas. I got someone dog. Please don't shoot me. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. But whatever. Go to the back and I see this little girl. I'm like, hey, is this your dog? And she was like, uh-oh, Daisy got out. And like a younger, she looks like a teenager, like an older teenager, maybe like 17 or so, came around the corner and she was like, oh yeah, this is our dog. So I gave the dog and she didn't even say thank you. And so then I got mad. That dog really almost ran into the street and there's a lot of people on the street because everyone parked there to go to the parade. And I was like, you guys should keep your gate closed. And then she goes, oh, do you live around here? And I was like, yeah, I live around here. She was like, yeah, what house do you live at? I was like, why are you asking? And she was like, yeah, don't tell me about my gate. Kill you. Like, bleep that out. But like, are you crazy? I just gave you your dog back that you weren't even worried about that almost got killed on Martin Luther King Day. And you couldn't even say thank you?
Fab was like,
I was mad. I'm still mad, obviously. But like,
clearly she's like,
I was
triggered.
just like, how are you?
But
what?
People like,
what is wrong with you?
Yeah, you were like, thank you. But that's probably why the next door neighbors, when you went by, and they were like,
they were like staying out of it.
That's
probably
their dog. Because they probably didn't try to save the dog and they got the same reaction. And then they were like, we live right next door.
I was just like, what is wrong with, like, no accountability.
Have your dog. It doesn't matter where I stay. Clearly, your dog was not where you stay.
And then you gonna get mad at me after I went out my way to do something. I could have let that dog run off. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I want people to just be better.
Do better.
Make the human experience a little bit better for everybody.
Yeah, but that's not.
It's not. I guess it's not a thing. I feel like I was lied to as a child. That like, we were better people as humans.
Do unto others as you want done unto you, but with the caveat, what is the word? Caveat? Yeah. That every reaction has an equal or opposite reaction. That's one thing I learned. Like, it may not be received how you want it to be received. And you just have to, like, if you say hello to someone and they don't say hello back, you can't take your hello back, but you also got to give it in a way that's just like, hello.
They even say that like with like giving, money to like the unhoused or something. Yeah. If they go and spend that on crack, that's like, it doesn't matter. Like your offering is received. I'm fine with that. And I'm also very like comfortable with how my soul is going to be taken care of, like my dharma essentially. But the least people could do is just be a little bit more kind, because it's just like, even though I know my soul is good, it's still a not nice experience.
So can I tell you a funny story about the homeless?
Wait, what? What?
My brother one time gave his like food to this homeless man.
Unhoused.
Yeah, unhoused. And he reaches out the car, and I guess the unhoused man said, like, what is that? And he tells him, and he's like, I don't want it.
That happens. It happens in New York a lot, actually.
My brother was so mad. Like, what do you mean, aren't you? And I was like, well, and I was on the phone with him. So he's in the car, like, trying to give this away. And he's like, and he drives off. He's super pissed. And I was like, if you think about it, just because we think they need it, they don't have to accept anything.
I've met vegetarian unhoused people before.
Yeah. You got me calling them unhoused. I'm like intentionally like trying not to say the word right now. So
it's just a little nicer. But also some people don't care. You know what I mean? These are like the little things like that I care about, but nobody else cares about.
Yeah. It's very true. Like when I'm running, I see a lot of people who are unhoused, and I actually speak to them because I'm like, they're human beings.
Yeah.
And I want them to know I see them. Like I see you as a person. So sometimes they'd be cheering me on, like, get it, girl. And there's one woman I run past in the morning, and she's always like cheerful to see me. Like, hey.
Yeah.
It's not like I know their names, but I do like it. It saddens me because I'm like, this could happen to anyone, and I don't know your story.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy.
You should ask her name.
This is true. I gotta start.
I didn't say start. I just said maybe her.
Yeah, like
start out
I was like, hold up, Jazz. You'll go into a whole thing. Yeah, Fab. What else you got for us today?
I don't know.
Where we at on time?
All right, 11:45.
Dang, we were chit-chatting. We gonna end it there.
I think we covered a lot.
Fab, this is why we're once a month. That's it. That's cut. Thank you for joining me, Jas Kirk, on Comfortable Conversations. Remember, the greatest gift life can offer you is discomfort. It's what shapes us, teaches us, and helps us grow. If today's episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a conversation. For more information and updates, follow us on Instagram at Honeydew. That's HUNNIDUOE. Until next time, keep embracing life's challenges as opportunities to create your masterpiece. Your canvas is waiting. Go paint it beautifully.